Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can be updated and I'm able to learn so much about English. I actually blog about English and I know that it's educational, so you cannot miss any of my uploads if you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's now go to rule number 2, or secret number 2, in order for you to improve your English. Of course, this is something that will shock you because you would think that it's not true, because knowing that grammar rule is helpful. Yeah, definitely. Grammar rule is helpful when it comes to writing. So the second is don't study grammar rules, because those will mess your speech, your talk. I know it sounds like unreal or foolish, but that's the reality. Why do I say that don't study grammar rules? The first one would be, if you stick to grammar rules and then you're going to talk in English automatically, spontaneously, it's going to be difficult, because instead of you um, talking straight in English, you can delay or hesitate to speak up, because you're instead of you think talking automatically, you have to refer first to grammar rules. It's like I just want to consult first grammar rules before I respond, or before I talk about something, or to a certain question. So imagine that logic. So that's something that I realized, because I think AJ Hogue was correct, because imagine yourself uh, talking, and then, for example, in an interview. So when it comes to interview, it's going to be spontaneous, and even though you have to jot down notes, or you review the notes of those possible questions, still you have to be spontaneous, because if you memorize that word for word, then I think it will disturb you, or should I say, it will distract you, and you tend to forget that, because you don't uh, you don't talk it naturally. So talking naturally is better than you sound like a broken record. And if you don't sound like a broken record, it sounds realistic, and I think that would be impressive, and it's like you're talking naturally and you're not robotic. So that's also one of the advantages of not referring to a grammar rule, because you have the freedom. You can twist, or you can explain that in your own words, and then, yeah, by explaining in your own words. So I think the listener will appreciate that, rather than you sound like a broken record, or you sound rehearsed. So that's why when it comes to my teaching, I don't really review my lessons, because the more I review it, the more I get preoccupied. Preoccupied of so much things going on in my mind, until I go wrong with what's supposed to say. So yes, so that's why I believe that spontaneity is the key also for you um, to better your oral English. Yes, and yeah, if you have grammar rule book, then you can still keep that, because somehow that could be helpful. But of course, when it comes to automatic speaking, try to forget about grammar rules. So your alternate or substitute would be podcasts, because for me, that's what my go-to is. Podcast is my go-to, because I also learned that from AJ Hall. So I'm gonna cover about podcasts soon, but not now because I'm referring or talking about um, yeah, not studying grammar rules. And then what else I would say? Yeah, talking about podcast, I realized that with podcasts, I almost forget to stick to a grammar rule or stick to grammar rules. So instead of sticking to grammar rules, I decided to stick to audiobooks, real English, or you can probably listen to an audio story or novel story online. And if you're bored of reading novel, because of course you have to use your eyes and it's kind of draining if you read that like 100 pages. I actually done that before. I used to read books when I was younger, when internet was not yet invented, and was, you know, when internet was just few people who could access that. And yeah, I was bookish, I was by the book, and somehow those really helped me a lot because that was a trend. that was um, that was the first resource of us prior to, you know, innovation, like of course internet, using your Android or using your iPhone, whatever you're using. And yeah, so now I am so glad that I used to subscribe to like English podcasts or American podcasts or Australian. Even Peppa Pig, I subscribe to that because I like their accent. So yeah, if you have kids and you want them to sound like a native or sound like an American, those can really help a lot because of course um, it's like what you see is what you get. So make sure that as early as like 5 years old, try to expose your kids to that language. I'm not saying that you forget about Filipino language because of course you should not do that because it's our native tongue. But I would say that I think it's even more important for your kids to sound like a native so that it would give impression. People don't think that your kid or your son or your daughter is knowledgeable, right? So that's why, you know, if I had a kid, I would also expose that kid or my kid to English television so that, you know, my kid um, would watch that and absorb whatever native speakers are talking about. So yeah, that's all for now. Thank you so much for listening to my story, my tips on how you can improve your English language, your journey with English language. So yeah, of course, want to uh, if you want to listen to the next hack or next tip, which is key to fluency number 3, don't forget to click subscribe button here so you will be notified again. So bye bye.